What's going on, everyone? Sebastian here. Today I'm going to show you some really awesome techniques to improve your profitability when you're using Amazon PPC. So this is generally going to be an advanced training. I'm going to have a part 2 to this, probably tomorrow or the day after, just because there's so much content for newbie Amazon sellers that, for the sake of time, I want to really segment them into different trainings. That way you can really get the full value for what we're going to be going over. So today we're going to be going over finding where your optimal bid is and your sales velocity. So there's a balance between bidding and sales velocity. So I'm going to show you how to find that out. And you take a lot of notes. This is pretty high level stuff. So on Rush, we help manage campaigns for sellers with one ASIN all the way up to 30,000 SKUs. So we have a ton of data points that we're seeing, and I'm able to translate this for you guys in this training. So I really hope you guys get a lot of value from this. So real quick, I'm gonna show you how the average Amazon seller creates PPC campaigns. Usually they'll create a campaign, have 100, 200 keywords in there, maybe do a suggested bid or whatever bid they want essentially, and hope for the best. Maybe lower the bid, maybe raise the bid, or change the budget. But there's a whole lot of guessing that comes to Amazon PPC for newbie sellers. So I'm going to show you how to take the guessing work out for increased profitability as an Amazon seller. So I broke down one campaign, and this is actually, again, this is high level stuff. This is gonna be by match type. Okay, so this is just one campaign, and let's say this is phrase. Let's say this is a phrase campaign. Amazon has different match types. They have exact, broad, and phrase, and there's also auto. So this is just for one campaign, okay? So the very first week, you don't want to have a campaign with more than 50 keywords because, well, I'm going to get into that into tomorrow's training, but for now, just when you're starting a campaign, put no more than 50 keywords. It'll put more money in your pocket from the start. So when you have 50 keywords in your one campaign, max, the first week, you're gonna go ahead and use Amazon's suggested bid, okay? So Amazon will just tell you what the average bid is, and they'll give you the median if you wanna stay in there. So go ahead and do their suggested bid. You could set the budget to whatever you want. Have it at least to $15. And then the first week, you're gonna measure your ACoS, okay? So you're not gonna know what that is ahead of time, obviously. So the first week, you're gonna measure your ACoS and say, okay, here's what we're working with Amazon's suggested bid. Now on week 2, this is where the magic starts to happen, okay? Week 2, you're gonna wanna raise the bid. You can raise it, between a good optimal balance would be 20 to 40% above Amazon's suggested bid, okay? So what you're gonna measure is, are your impressions going up? Is your click-through rate going up? And did your ACoS go up or did it go down? Okay, this is what you're gonna wanna measure. Generally speaking, when you raise the bids, you'll get more impressions, you'll get a higher click-through rate, and depending on how many keywords are in your campaign and how competitive your niche is, this can either go up and this can go down. But what you're gonna want to pay attention to is your sales velocity, okay? And so the reason why you're gonna wanna pay attention to your sales velocity is because, let's say for example, you raise your bid and you're looking at your impressions and your click-through rate from the previous 7 days. If they went up, did your sales also go up? Did you maybe get 20 to 50 more sales? And if your ACoS, let's say the first week is, I don't know, let's just say it's 35%. The first week Amazon's suggested bid. And let's say you raise the bid, impressions go up, click-through rate goes up, and let's say ACoS also goes up to 40%. But you got, 20 more sales. Okay, so let's just leave that as is for now, okay? Now, for week 3, you're gonna wanna lower your bid 20 to 40% below Amazon's suggested bid. So now you're gonna go, so this is plus suggested, now this is 20 to 40% minus the suggested bid, okay? And you're generally gonna see your impressions go down and your click-through rate will also go down, but also you might see increased profitability, okay? You might see, actually that looks ugly. You might see that your ACoS is going down. Let's say your ACoS is now 25%, okay? So you lowered the bid 20 to 40% below the suggested bid. Now your new ACoS is 25% because you're paying less per click. But let's say your sales also went down. You're doing 20 more sales at a higher ACoS. Now you have a lower ACoS, and let's say sales velocity slows down by 10. You have 10. You're making less sales, but you're increasing your profitability, okay? So this is where the magic is happening, because sellers don't know, just because you're paying 5% more ACoS, but you're making more sales, you have to consider, are you ranking for keywords now? Or are you maintaining your keyword rank, moving higher up on the Amazon search term, on their search bar? The word did not want to come out. Ugh. Okay, sorry. So 40%, I hope this is making sense. You're making 20 more sales at 40%. You're increasing your profitability here, but your sales velocity is going down. Okay, and this is generally speaking, because you can also lower the bids, and sales velocity can really go down. It really depends how competitive your niche is. So the reason why you want to test these two is because you got to see what's more profitable for you long term. If you're making more sales with just a little bit higher ACoS, it can be worth it for you to keep the bids here as opposed to lowering the bids and losing that much needed sales velocity, because on Amazon, PPC really helps you move higher in the search term reports if it's struck in the search term in Amazon search. But it can, if you're not making as many sales now, you can actually do more harm than good, because you're lowering your sales velocity and therefore your organic traction can slow down. So that's a decision you have to make in your own business. But the balance between, the good news between the two of these is on week 4, you're now going to see what your optimal bid is. And it's not always necessarily Amazon's suggested bid, okay? So you're going to now see what the median point between these two sections is for optimal impressions, optimal click-through rate, and this is where you're generally going to see ACoS continually go down, because the Amazon PPC algorithm is just getting smarter and smarter, which again I'm going to get into tomorrow to go over a few of the PPC algorithm updates, okay? But this is going to help you maintain profitability without sacrificing sales velocity. But you're not going to know what your optimal sales velocity point is and ACoS without testing. And the reason why it's chunked by 7 days is because you need to see, you need adequate data to guide your decisions. Okay, so you're letting the data help you make better informed decisions with your Amazon business. Okay, and 7 days is really the optimal time frame to really start changing the variables to measure these week after week. Okay, measure impressions, measuring click-through rate, and seeing what your optimal sales velocity is. Because there's a median point here that you can be optimized for. So this is where everyone should be, but I can't tell you how many sellers, they're not testing their bids, they're not measuring sales velocity at certain bids in order to find that sweet spot, okay? So if you're currently measuring your Amazon PPC campaigns, try this experiment, okay? Do this experiment because ultimately you need data to really scale your business, and you need, as the competition continually increases, you want to stay one lean machine, okay? So this is gonna be one of the best ways just to test your optimal sales velocity. Now I have quite a bit more. There's so much I can get into with Amazon PPC, so I'm really excited to start sharing this training series with optimizing your Amazon PPC. So tomorrow I'm gonna get into a little bit more nitty-gritty stuff, but this is something that you can do today to start measuring and your velocity, your ACoS, and increasing your profitability, okay? You need to look at the stats. So yeah, that basically will cover this training today. I have a super awesome one tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so now. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think, like this video, and as always guys, you have a great day.